Hello, this is Pacesetter Academy. Today we are going to present another training video. Today's video is how to use the drop and roll method in Xactimate. You may work for a carrier who does not want you to use manual waste. For instance, on carpet, they do not want you to add 15% waste to the replace line item of carpet, or they don't want you to use any other method of calculating or adding waste to flooring. They want you to use the drop and roll method in Xactimate. So today we're going to look at how to use this feature. Before you start, you want to go to Sketch. You could do this before or after you draw your rooms. Today we have some rooms drawn. I'm just going to use the master bedroom. I'm going to use carpet as our example. But before you start doing this method, you have to make sure you have a couple things set. And one of these is under Options tab, Toggle Calculations. You have to make sure this is set to on, or you cannot use the feature. It won't allow you to set some other settings and views you need to see, which we'll look at shortly. So make sure that you go to Options, Toggle Calculations, and that's set to on. If it's on, it'll be a little green circle with this check mark. I'll click on it here. This will let you know that it's off. Red circle with the little X. Simply left click here once with your mouse. It turns it on and off. So we have our toggle calculations on. Let's go back to the tools options because we'll need this later. Once that's set, we're going to go down here to view and you'll see flooring overlay. This is what you're going to need to select before we can see what direction the carpet's laying and what kind of seams and cuts we have. But you'll notice right now that it's grayed out. We don't have the option. And even one of these might be because you don't have the toggle calculation set on, but remember we did have that set on. But the reason why we can't see it now is because we don't have any flooring or carpet laid in the sketch yet. But I wanted to make you aware that you'll need to turn this on. So let's go put the carpet in and we'll come back here. So the way you want to do that is, first you need to get a search field up so you can select the carpet or select the flooring that you want. And we have another room at the bottom, a little window that'll show up. A couple of windows will show up. One of these is search. The other at the bottom will be the actual line item in the estimate that corresponds to the estimate. The way you turn this on, most people like me like to have a lot of real estate with their Xactimate, and they want all the room they can to draw in. That's great, but we have to turn these windows on to use this feature in Xactimate for drop and roll. So the way you do that is you left click anywhere in an open area away from your sketch, left click once and then shift enter, and that will open up these windows. Let me center this a little bit better. So again, if I left click in an open area, shift enter will toggle on and off these windows. So we want these windows on. We'll see our search window here. We have our images and symbols, of course, if we wanted to use those. And we have our line items down here that corresponds with the room over in the estimate. We'll look at that shortly of how that corresponds. Okay, so now we've got our views set up. So let's go ahead and grab the carpet. So we're going to go to search, type in carpet. We want to lay the carpet in this master bedroom. We'll just use average grade carpet today. FCCAV is your category and selector codes. Now, when I move away from the search field, you'll know that I notice that I have this carpet attached to my cursor when I move it around. If I move my cursor into my sketch areas, into my rooms, the rooms turn correspondingly green. This lets me know that I can lay carpet in that room. In this case, again, we're going to use the master bedroom only. To lay it down, all you have to do is left click once. There are a couple of ways to let you know that it's laid down here. See, if I move away, it goes back to that same cursor, but if I put it back, my cursor is changed to a little trash can. And then the attached note says delete the carpet. So that's one way to tell that this room has carpet laid in it already. We've clicked. If I move away from this, my little trash can is gone. So now I can lay carpet in this room. It says place carpet. In the bath closet, place carpet. Same thing here. But if I move it back over here, I can't place carpet because it's already placed. It's already laid in the room, and this little cursor lets me know that, and my note lets me know delete. The other way you can know is look down here. There's line items in the room. You'll also notice that those carpet line items, remove and replace carpet, are in purple. Purple text is the Xactimate code that lets you know that you've laid these rooms in Sketch. That's where you put these line items in this area, in this window. We'll see how that shows up in the estimate itself when we look there later. Okay, so we're good. We've got our carpet laid here. I move my cursor around, I still see that it's attached. I want to get rid of that attachment. How do I do that? Very simple, just select the escape key on your keyboard. It doesn't delete the carpet being laid in the room. It's still there. It just deletes the carpet being attached from your cursor. We still have the carpet laid in here. Now, we want to go look and see what direction the carpet is being laid. This feature allows you to move the direction around, left, right, up, or down, of how we lay and roll the carpet out, which changes the amount of cuts or seams that are going to be needed in the carpet, which correspondingly changes the amount of waste that the calculator is going to apply. The drop and roll method will apply. So we need to see what those directions are and how to change those directions. So first we have to be able to turn that view on, and that's where we go back again to our view menu, flooring overlay. Now it is highlighted. Remember it was not highlighted earlier because even though we had our toggle calculations on, we didn't have anything laid in the carpet, in the rooms anywhere, any kind of carpet or flooring. So now we have our carpet in, we have our options and toggle calculations turned on properly, and now in our view menu down here, we have flooring overlay selected, or highlighted rather. Now we're going to simply select it. And there's our view of which direction our carpet is being laid. Currently, that is left to right with this red arrow right here. And it shows our cuts and seams right here. So we have these cuts and seams made at the doors and internally. A couple of doors, internal seams. So now we want to look to see how much waste is being applied to this and how many cuts are there. To do that, we're going to go back down here near our view menu, and just to the right we have a new icon that shows up, show flooring cut. So let's select this. It'll open up a window and tell us how many cuts we have, 4, and what our waste is right now, 16.99%. Okay, good. Let's close this. Now let's change the direction of the way the carpet's laid from left to right. Let's change it to another direction and see how many cuts that creates and then what the corresponding waste might be. To do that, we're going to go up to another menu in our under Tools tabs, and we're going to select this one right here, Flooring Orientation. This is another little tool where if we move our cursor that now has a little arrow on it, inside the room next to a wall, it will show some red arrows telling us the direction that it will change to if we left click. So again, right now the direction is left to right based on this arrow right here. But since we have our flooring orientation tool selected and I move down here next to this wall, it's going to move the carpet laying direction from top to bottom. So let's click on this. So I'm going to left click. It will change the way the carpet's laid. Now we have these different cuts and seams. So let's go back down here to our flooring cuts window and let's see what the waste is now in that direction. 14.43, it went down. Kind of unusual because we have more cuts, but the waste went down. Okay, let's go another direction. Let's go right to left. Go back up to our flooring orientation tool. We'll go move our cursor down next to these walls where the arrows are pointing right to left and simply left click, change the direction. Now we have a bunch of different cuts. Some down here, one in the middle. Our doors, of course, we always have those currently. Unless, probably even if the carpet continued, they would probably make cuts. And we have some up here. So let's go back down here and look and see what our waste is now, 13.75, going down a little bit. Okay? And we have one other direction we can go, bottom to top. Let's click on our flooring orientation tool, get down here by this wall where our arrows are now pointing bottom to top. Click, left click, and now we have this orientation of cuts and seams. So again, let's go look. 14.43 went up just a little bit. So we have some different calculations. Here's the deal. Sometimes, and you might want to clarify this with your manager, sometimes the carrier says just use the flooring cut direction that produces the lowest amount of waste. In this case, it was 13%. Let's go back and get to that. I think it was in this direction. Let's look real. Nope, I'm sorry. It was in this direction, I believe. Let's double check. Don't quote me on this, but we'll find it. Oh, 14.3. Maybe it was. There we go. Let's try this. Okay, 13.75. So this, I think, was the lowest direction. However, if you look at these seams and cuts, it's highly unlikely that the actual carpet contractor is going to lay carpet this way. Carpet generally comes in 12-foot rolls. You can change those settings and options in Xactimate. Typically, you don't want to change those. We want to leave it standard, industry standard, 12-foot. And usually they're going to try to lay carpet in any room with the fewest amount of cuts, which is reasonable. However, in this case, we have a lot of extra cuts, but it's giving us, for some reason, it's auto-calculating the lowest amount of waste. If the carrier says we want the lowest amount of waste, you may want to check with your manager just to let them know that did they for sure want to go with this, because in some instances, the calculator that they want you to use is giving lower waste percentages on more cuts, which is probably not going to be the way the contractor is going to lay these. So just keep an eye on that. Talk to your manager about that. But generally, this is how you use this feature. If you use the lowest amount that they want, or if they want to use whatever waste amount is, but pick the direction that gives the most reasonable real life and real world amount of cuts of the way it would be laying, use whatever they want, and then that will automatically calculate your waste for you in the background. So let's go take a look at our estimate. So we're going to leave it right here at 13.75, I believe is what it was. If we go back to the estimate and we go down to the bottom and look at our master bedroom, we have our line items here. If I click on the room, it's all purple. Lets you know that we put these line items in the estimate via sketch, and the waste has been applied. So 3,026.18, we have 719.92 square feet, right? So let's go back just to make sure you can see this clearly. We'll go back to sketch. We're going to go back to our flooring orientation tool and just change the direction here. And then let's look at our sketch, or rather our flooring cuts window. Now we're at 16.99 again. So let's look at the line items, and we'll see that it went up. Now it's at 748 square feet. So the sketch is applying the correct auto calculation based on the flooring direction. It is applying that to the replace line item. So it's working. So I hope that explains how to use the drop and roll method. It's really not that complicated. It's just setting a couple of toggles. Remember, again, make sure you select options. Make sure your toggle calculations is on. Go into, open up your windows here, go into your search field, click. That would be, remember, the shift enter toggles the windows on and off. Then you're going to go up and select your material. In this case, we select carpet. We dropped it in the room. Then we moved away, selected our escape key to get rid of that attached material on our cursor. Then we went down to view and made sure that our flooring overlay was on so that we could see this view right here, which is the cuts and the arrow of the carpet or the flooring being laid. And then we just go back and forth between our show flooring cuts little window down here. That little icon tells us what the waste is and how many cuts. We go alternate between that tool and then back on the tools menu, this tool right here, flooring orientation. That allows us to change the direction of the flooring cuts. Pretty easy stuff. So, hope that helps you in the field. As always, if you have questions, talk to your claims managers. They're there to help you. We will see you on the next video. Hope you have a great day.